And we have come out of alignment when we are trying to prove ourselves as worthy. Hey, gorgeous. Hey. Today we are talking about the damsel in distress. And the interesting part is, I have had a conversation with two different ladies about the damsel in distress. And one of them we spoke earlier, maybe last year or even 2 years ago, where she was saying how she feels like she has to be the dumb girl to get the boy, to get the guy, right? And the other conversation was somewhat the same, but not exactly. And so I see a lot of women getting kind of frustrated because they do not want to be the damsel in distress, and they're not understanding why these men desire a damsel in distress. So, first, we have to look at the way in which a lot of women were raised, specifically women who were either like in single parent households, in households where the mother didn't respect the husband or her husband, or households where the father was present but wanted his daughter to be very independent. Now, for me personally, I grew up in a household where my father wanted me to be very independent because he didn't want me to need a man. He did not want me to come into a situation where I would be taken advantage of. And gratefully for that, I do know how to do a lot of things. But it comes into the part of knowing that you don't have to. And the really delicious part is not knowing if you still have that ability to do certain things. Like, am I strong enough to lift up the laundry basket while it's still full? I don't know. I don't have to do those things. Am I willing to drive somewhere in traffic? I don't want to anymore. I used to pride myself on that. And so when we look at men and what they need to feel needed. They want to feel appreciated. They desire to be with a woman who needs them, not a woman that's going to be like, I don't need no man. I don't need a man. Because he's not fulfilling his role or his deepest desire, which is to make you happy. When he is not making you happy with what he was created to do, which is to do the hard things, do the laborious things, and things like that, or at the very least, lead you and guide you into being your greatest and best self, it kind of cuts him at the knees. He won't know what to do with that energy. So he's going to find someone who, one, accepts him as he is. And if he is a leader, if he's a guide, and he wants to have a legacy, he's going to find a woman who wants to have a legacy with him, to build a legacy with him. And the interesting thing that I find is a lot of times these men that do hold and have legacies that they want to build, or at least at the very least create, they are providing types of men. They want to provide ease, pleasure, and joy for their ladies. However, if they come into resistance, they do not feel appreciated. So when we look So when we look at our backgrounds and the places that we started, we have to be able to release the things that are no longer serving us, especially as women who may have been brought up as independent women. And I think this is something that has been happening for quite some time. I was reading a book, but we'll talk about that later. And it was talking about how a lot of women want to be independent. They want to have their own voice. They want to be able to work and do all these things like men, not realizing that we were not created the same. There is a double standard, and that standard is there for a reason, to protect us and to allow us to be at our best. And not necessarily performance, but for us to be an inspiration, for us to be the nurturing light that we are for our children and those who come after us. But for our men, our nurturing is not the same. It is not this mothering, let me save you kind of thing, because that is really and truly a man's place to make sure that you are safe, to make sure that you are provided for, to make sure that you have time and space to rest and have all of your desires, all of the desires of your heart met. That is that is his place. Okay? It is the men who chase the women, and the women are just there. Like, even in nature, men are like peacocks, are beautiful and pretty to attract a mate, or they certain animals dance, or certain birds sing because they are trying to attract a mate. And we have come out of alignment when we are trying to prove ourselves as worthy for love. Excuse me. When we are trying to prove ourselves as worthy for love, of capable of bringing something to the table. The damsel in distress. I have never seen or heard a masculine man complaining about a damsel in distress. And the thing, because a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube have stated how men run away from them when they need help. And the thing is, the damsel in distress is not desperate. She can get help from anyone, or she can do it herself. The damsel in distress is an energy that does not magnetize. She pushes away masculine energy. No, 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 Lord. The damsel in distress magnetizes men to her. They want to give her whatever it is that she needs to be happy and carefree and smiling. Men love truly feminine energy. It is something that they feel depleted of because a lot of women are trying to be independent and say they don't need a man. But when men see a woman who appreciates, accepts men as they are, and is grateful for the help that they receive, be it opening a door, buying a car, men absolutely love that and will give more. But it is a different energy than what a lot of women, including myself, were raised with. That is not an energy that I was raised with. But as I understand it better in my adulthood and understand femininity and masculinity and how polar it is, how complementary it is, the two energies, the more I am seeing the benefit of it and how it works. So for the ladies that are independent women, they got this, they got their own. That is beautiful and well, and I'm so happy for you doing what works for you. And that type of energy will attract a man who wants to go 50-50. It will attract, if he is happy about this, let me say that. If a man is desiring an independent woman who does not need him, especially in marriage, you are attracting a man who may need you to provide for him. Now, if that's what you want to do, you want to go 50-50, you want to have a roommate and all these things, that's beautiful. I'm happy for you. But I do want you to look at your goals and your values and where and who you plan to be. Because with motherhood, that takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of energy. And being able to pull back that independence and say, you know what, I do need help. It takes grace within yourself and being able to know that you are fully supported by a man who can support you. And I'm not just talking about financially, I'm talking about someone who can create a space and a container where you can melt and be in the mode of changing and becoming something different. From maiden to mother, it takes a man, a masculine man, to create that space for you. Now, if you do not plan to be a mother, you want to be an independent woman, you don't need a man, you just want to have a 50-50 partner, that's beautiful. I'm proud of you for knowing who it is that you want to be. But for the ladies who want more, who want a full, beautiful, delicious life with all the roles that a woman can hold, you are going to need to be held. I remember back in 2017, I believe, I wrote a blog about who will mother the mother. Who will mother the mother? And it is not necessarily the man to mother the mother, but to provide the resources that will allow the mother to be mothered, be it a doula, be it her having her mom fly out when the baby is born, all these things. But that goes into a whole bunch of other things that you may not be concerned about at this moment in time. But the damsel in distress is an energy that attracts and magnetizes men who want to just see you smile. That's it. Men love being in the feminine energy because it can be so nourishing while also so inspirational and intuitive. Because women, we know when something's off. And us just saying that something is off can change the trajectory of a man's life. Be it husband, be it friend, be it just a random guy that we met in the mall. Like, oh, those people seem a little off. And he may, you know, retreat from that scenario, and that can change his life. So that is why men absolutely love truly divine, genuine feminine energy. And when you are in the energy of receiving, that is what is the energy of the damsel in distress. And a lot of people don't understand that, especially women who are, again, independent, because we've been taught it is foolish, it is dangerous, it is not safe to ask for help, to need help, and to not receive help. But when you are able to hold yourself in high regard, knowing that the help that you need, you can receive it and hold it, that's when the game changes. I love you.